Throughout the Monster Hunter series, Capcom has been known to use certain choirs and vocals to represent the power of certain monsters, such as the infamous Black Dragons. However, with Monster Hunter World and Iceborne, it seems like Capcom shifted the usage of vocals and choirs in order to represent evolution instead. And in this video, we're going to be observing 4 monsters that have evolved throughout the Monster Hunter series through the usage of choirs and vocals throughout their themes in Monster Hunter World and Iceborne. Now let's go ahead and get straight to it. Hey everyone, KordaPinoyX here once again, back with another video for Monster Hunter World Iceborne. So in today's video, what we're going to be observing is how Capcom uses vocals on a monster's theme in order to indicate evolution of a monster throughout Monster Hunter World and Iceborne. In previous Monster Hunter games, the usage of vocals were usually reserved for legendary creatures throughout the Monster Hunter series, such as the Lao Shan Long and the infamous Black Dragons. However, in Monster Hunter World and Iceborne, the usage of a choir singing on a monster's theme has now changed in terms of its overall meaning. It no longer means that the creature is considered to be legendary and powerful, but rather it indicates the evolution of a monster throughout Monster Hunter World and Iceborne when you start hearing vocals on a monster's theme. And today, we're going to be observing 4 creatures that have vocals in their overall themes and how these creatures have evolved throughout the entirety of Monster Hunter World and Iceborne as you're fighting them and listening to their overall soundtrack throughout the Monster Hunter series. Now with all of that being said, if you enjoyed these videos, please consider leaving a like on the video itself and let me know in the comments below what your favorite themes are for certain monsters in Monster Hunter World and Iceborne, or even any other Monster Hunter games. Now with all of that out of the way, let's observe the 4 monsters that have vocals in their themes and how these creatures have evolved in Monster Hunter World and Iceborne. The first creature that we are observing that uses the power of a choir singing in its theme in order to indicate evolution is none other than Lunastra. Lunastra's overall combat capabilities in Monster Hunter World are vastly different in comparison to the Lunastras that we know back in previous Monster Hunter titles. It's no longer considered as a simple clone of Teostra in terms of its overall moveset. It has its own unique moveset that makes it very infamous in the Monster Hunter series within Monster Hunter World. Just listen to the gracefulness of the Lunastra's theme and listen to how the hymn is vastly different in comparison to the drum and brass instruments that we hear with the Teostra's theme in Monster Hunter World. Overall, the graceful theme of the Lunastra alongside the vocals that we can hear for this particular Elder Dragon really indicates the power and evolution of Lunastra in Monster Hunter World when you compare it to previous Monster Hunter titles, and Capcom has done an amazing job of evolving this Elder Dragon, not just in its overall combat capabilities, but also in its overall theme throughout Monster Hunter World, despite the infamy of the Lunastra in the series within Monster Hunter World. The next monster that we are observing that evolves to the powers of vocals in its overall theme with a choir singing behind it is none other than Kulve Taroth. Kulve Taroth's overall theme during the Fury state not only adds in the choir singing behind it, but also the fact that it changes the tempo of the overall music as well as the overall tone in order to make it far more aggressive in comparison to the previous phases of the hunt. Just listen to the comparison between the initial phase of the Kulve Taroth hunt and the Fury state of this monster in terms of the overall tone as well as tempo of the music, including the vocals in it. Overall, as you can see, there is a huge shift in tone and tempo throughout the Kul'Thurot's overall theme during the Fury state of the hunt in order to indicate the aggressiveness on this monster within Monster Hunter World, showing how Capcom has used the power of music as well as the vocals of this particular monster's theme in order to indicate that the creature has evolved into something far more aggressive and far more powerful in comparison to what we were hunting initially during the initial phases of the Kul'Thurot hunt. The next monster that shows the power of evolution through the usage of vocals and its overall theme is none other than the variant monster, the Raging BRACHYDIOS. This brute wyvern initially uses the standard BRACHYDIOS theme, however as soon as you enter the final phase of the hunt, much like that of Kul'Thurot, the Raging BRACHYDIOS' theme changes not only in tone but also in tempo and adding in the vocals. For me personally, I think Capcom has done an amazing job with this theme overall, especially when you mount the monster. I mean, just listen to the synchronization of the monster's mount theme with the standard theme in general and just see how different it is in comparison to the standard BRACHYDIOS theme. This really indicates how the Raging BRACHYDIOS has evolved from a standard BRACHYDIOS, not just because of the fact that it's a variant monster, but because it's a creature in the new world, meaning that this is actually different from the Raging BRACHYDIOS that we know back in the old world throughout the Monster Hunter series. Capcom has done an amazing job of evolving Raging BRACHYDIOS within Monster Hunter World Iceborne. The final monster that we're gonna be observing that shows the power of evolution through the usage of vocals and its overall theme is none other than SAFI'jiiva. Now SAFI'jiiva is the adult state of the Xeno'jiiva, and for the most part, in comparison to Xeno'jiiva, the SAFI'jiiva's overall theme instantly has vocals in it as soon as you enter the fray with this monster. I mean, just listen to it. As soon as you enter the SAFI'jiiva siege hunt, you instantly hear the choir singing alongside the theme of SAFI'jiiva. Not only does the SAFI'jiiva's theme instantly have a choir to it, it also has a transitionary phase to show how the SAFI'jiiva is learning as it fights. As soon as you enter the second phase of the hunt, this is where you start hearing the higher version of the SAFI'jiiva's theme. This is to indicate that SAFI'jiiva knows which player to basically focus on because of the fact that this player is considered a danger because it's dealing the most amount of damage to the SAFI'jiiva. As soon as you get SAFI'jiiva's ire, the entire tone shifts from something that's considered to be divine to something that's considered demonic and evil and pretty much considered to be fearful because of the fact that it shifts from these really divine tones into these really scary, deep, bassy tones that almost sounds like a heartbeat to an extent. I mean, just listen to it. That shift in tone really shows how SAFI'jiiva not only became a divine being, but a divine being that can be feared upon because of the fact that it's learning to basically focus on the deadliest hunter at that point, which is the person who has its ire. So overall, SAFI'jiiva is evolving not just in terms of its overall fight, but also in terms of its overall theme in order to instill fear to the players. And finally, in order to indicate the final stand against SAFI'jiiva, we have the final phase theme in Iceborne for this particular Elder Dragon. I think the best part about this particular theme is that it not only creates a very divine music for SAFI'jiiva, in tandem with the visuals that we get with the supercritical state, but it also creates this very memorable moment as soon as it starts playing Proof of a Hero as both an instrumental and as a song by the choir as you're fighting SAFITIIVA. I mean, just listen to the perfect harmony of the vocals and the instrumentals for the Proof of a Hero part of SAFITIIVA's theme. That pretty much to me indicates that Capcom was trying to make this moment as memorable as possible, because this Elder Dragon is supposed to create a huge impact to the player's overall experience when fighting it throughout the Iceborne expansion, and that to me really shows how SAFITIIVA evolves not only in the way this monster fights and its overall power, but in terms of its overall theme as well within Monster Hunter World Iceborne. And that is pretty much it for this video, taking a look at the 4 monsters that have very prominent choirs singing on their themes as vocals in order to indicate their evolution within Monster Hunter World and Iceborne. As I previously stated at the very beginning of this video, vocals were originally restricted to legendary creatures throughout the Monster Hunter series, such as the Lao Shan Lung and the infamous Black Dragons. However, in Monster Hunter World and Iceborne, their meanings have drastically changed, especially considering the fact that Capcom is trying to make more memorable moments for certain monster fights throughout Monster Hunter World and Iceborne, such as the Raging BRACHYDIOS' fight as well as safi'jiiva's. Overall, I'm hoping to see more of these kinds of usage for a choir throughout the monster's theme in order to indicate evolution within Monster Hunter World and Iceborne, and even future Monster Hunter games at that. What do you think about the usage of vocals on a monster's theme throughout the Monster Hunter series? Should Capcom restrict them to legendary creatures like the Black Dragons, or should Capcom start using them for other Elder Dragons and other creatures as well throughout the entirety of the Monster Hunter series? Let me know in the comments below what you think about the usage of vocals within the Monster Hunter series in its entirety, as well as Monster Hunter World and Iceborne. Now that is pretty much it from me for this video. If you enjoyed these videos, please consider leaving a like on the video itself and subscribing to the channel, as well as hitting that bell icon so you can go ahead and catch up on any future Monster Hunter content that I might be doing or any other games that I might be playing in future. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Onward and upward.